Good day, everyone. This is Patrick from EasyFX Gold Trading System, and it's Saturday, the 14th of May, 2022, and it's the weekly technical analysis for the Euro, the cable, and the Aussie dollar for the third week of May. Let's begin with the Euro, where it has fallen further, almost hitting to a major support that we had highlighted. It did go through past the 104.00, but it managed to recover somewhat to just stay above that for the week, but not by much. It has closed at the 104.07 level, so only 7 pips above the 00. And still in danger of falling further if there's further bearish momentum and sentiment in the market. And it has fallen right through since this spike here after retracing and breaking down below this support at the 107.57. That's our major resistance. It has not come back to retest that, and fallen right through for the past 3 weeks now, since the end of April. Okay, so that's sitting at a major support. This will now turn into resistance at the 105.00 level. That's at the 162 fib extension. This is still going to be at the resistance at the 106 area, at the 138 fib extension. So let's also mark this as a full here. So now we can remove this for now. Okay, if we look further below, so at the critical support, there is a previous, we go to the weekly time frame. In fact, all the way to a monthly time frame, there's this major swing low here since the early part of 2017. And that's at the 200 fib area, that's at 103.30. And this swing low, I can grab this level here. Swing low is at 103.40. Let's go back to the daily time frame. So that's at a major support level now. It did not hit it, so it's stayed above that. It only went down to a low of 103.50 area. So it missed that by 10 pips, and then the 200 pip by another 20 pips. So we'll see this week whether it's able to climb up above the 105. It's going to be a major resistance zone now. So it needs to break out higher, but even if it does, it's going to face further resistance at the 106. But otherwise, if it breaks down, then it's let's see where it may extend down to. The next fib level is at 262, and that's at 1.0066. So it's heading towards parity here at 1. It's going to be the major support. If it gets down that low, let's mark the 103. All right. Now, if I do move this fib down to this swing move, and let's see where the extensions are. The 138 is right near the 103 level, so 162 fib is potentially a key support level that it could target and fall to. That's at 101.84. So we may mark another round figure here at 102. And this zone is the key support now, and let's mark another support zone. And the 162 fib along with the 102.00. Okay, so that's critical now. Let's switch back to the weekly time frame to see. Yes, it was still a quite bearish close for the week, and it could easily continue its bearish sentiment there. No major news this week for the euro. There are a couple of minor news from the US. So it all depends on the US dollar price action. So let's take a look at the US dollar index as well, the DXY. All right, this is the DXY, and it did manage to punch through the resistance at the 104, along with a previous swing high here, and closed quite bullish on Thursday, but then pull back slightly on the Friday. So this was triggered from the Wednesday. If I expand this on Wednesday here, there was this spike lower, and that was the push back up and bounce. This was due to the US CPI figure, which was slightly better than slightly higher than expected. And although there were signs that it could be slowing down, so there was initially some hope that inflation could be turning down, but still higher than expected, and it pushed through on Thursday, followed through higher. Paused a bit on the Friday because of slightly worse consumer sentiment figure, but it just missed the key round figure here of 105. That's the next significant resistance, and let's move this one here now. This is going to turn into support. This here is support now. This area is going to be also support and a major one. Next major one now. And let's move this one here. Okay, and let's identify the major resistance up at the 105. All right, then above that, still quite a wide range here. Let's take a look on the weekly time frame and monthly. See, this was the swing high previously that it pushed through, and that was back in the early part of 2020. Okay. Yeah, for now, let's it needs to break through the 105. It's if it's going to continue its bullish move. Otherwise, it may just consolidate for next week. Just could consolidate within this zone between the 104 and the 105. It does dip lower. There's definitely a significant support below that. That's 102.45 here. Okay, and there's only minor news for the US economy this coming week. So for now, there's no major trigger. Okay, let's take a look on the weekly time frame. Yes, it's still a bullish close with a large body of a spinning top here. See if it's, let's see how far 106 is, and let's mark this as resistance as well, that 106. Okay. All right, but there could be just signs of consolidation for a while. All right, let's move back to the other pairs. Okay, let's move on to the cable. Similar to the euro, although didn't fall as hard. It did dip past the support zone that we highlighted and into the 122 level, 122.00. So it did dip lower below that and then managed to recover on Friday back up to this swing low support line that we identified, support level at the 122.50 area. So it did dip below to 121.55. Yeah, 121.55. Dip a bit lower there on the Friday, but managed to recover back up with the slightly worse than expected consumer sentiment from the US. But it fell already from the Thursday, continued falling on Thursday. It did fall already from the Wednesday with the US CPI data, just slightly higher than expected, and continued on Thursday with the UK's prelim GDP figure, which was also worse than expected. So that didn't help. And then only managed some recovery on the Friday. So this week there's UK's turn to report their CPI and then retail sales on the Friday. So we'll see if it's able to continue its recovery. Let's see where this support was, and that's the swing low here that we highlighted. And that was the low of 122.52. Okay. So for the week, let's take a look at the weekly candle as well. And there's a slightly longer wick on the lower part of the range, and so there could be some pullback and recovery for next week. So for now, there's let's go back on the daily, and yeah, 122 is a key support level now. So we could identify this zone. Then just below that 121 before it hits the big round figure of 120. Which it looks as if it's could eventually target as well. So it's similar to the euro, where it's drifting lower and lower towards parity. The cable is drifting lower towards 120 here, and the extension, there's also extension down here, fib extension, but let's see if we do. See, we do move fib here to this recent swing move down, and yes, it hit the 138 fib here exactly, and then it bounced back up there, and 162 is a close alignment with the 120 round figure area, so could use this fib here. So that's going to be the next major support level here, 120. 162 is at 119.93 or 92. Okay. So yes, these resistance levels are still valid here. And let's mark another one. It's up here where it fell through or could not pick out higher from the 124. Okay. All right, so we'll see whether these news from the UK will help trigger a recovery, whether there's enough to salvage a rebound and support from this zone here. But it's fighting some massive headwinds above. All right, let's move on to the Aussie dollar. And as with the other major pairs, losing out to the US dollar and The Aussie has fallen through this 69 level. It's could not sustain above the 70 round figure, so it's fallen through, given away past this support, and this is now a major resistance now. So it's this zone that's going to be resistance as well. Let's remove this for now. And this fib to reverse this, flip this over now. Okay, and in fact, if we take a reversal fib, that's 162 fib that it has hit, and that's the 138 level along with this swing low. So this could also be a valid fib that we can use, and all the way further down into support, that's the 200 fib area. Okay, down below, it has to break below the 68. Let's look at the, so similarly on Friday, they did, the pairs did manage to bounce back up and recover, and the Aussie did recover quite nicely, climbing back up quite significantly at another 80 pips climb. So below that, this is the next major support, which it has hit down here. And let's take a look at where this support zone is, and that's the that was a swing low. This doji at 67.76. So below the 68. And it did reach down to a low of 68.28. Didn't quite hit the 68 yet. So we span the weekly time frame. There's a lower wick here that's quite significant. So there could be some follow through next week, but this will be the critical support zone here before some consolidation. So it could be between these two fibs, between the low of 68.60 to 69.75. Let's move back to daily time frame. Okay. Now there's a couple of news from the Australian economy, with the RBA releasing their monetary policy meeting minutes on Tuesday, and then jobs report later in the week. So we'll see if this bounce back on Friday is sufficient to carry it through the resistance and climb back up towards 71. Otherwise, if it's blocked here at the 70 zone, then it could just consolidate between these fib levels as well, or between 70 and this 162 fib extension. Okay. And it also depends on price action of the US dollar. So we'll see that the Aussie dollar has followed a similar path as the spot gold in my other video. So all has fallen against the US dollar here in general. All right, so do check out my other video on spot gold and dollar yen. Have a good week and have a safe week, a good trading week, and cheers for now.